say no.
You can't.
The bar wasn't even paying us any sort of money anymore. We were like 3 months into lockdown, and the money just sort of dried up.
Yeah, that's
So by then,
whole COVID
whether I liked
situation
it or
and
not,
people working.
I was almost entirely dependent on OnlyFans for my income.
Now it's hard to get people to
Quest
work
got
now
worse,
that
so
things are
there
opening
was
up.
little choice but to fulfill them. Looking back, I shouldn't have let it escalate. I could have kept things at the level they were at and still lived pretty comfortably until the New York City bar scene opened up again. But no.
What is that?
Greed took over, and at one point,
What are you gonna do with
I
that?
bought an entire pack of wet Italian sausage, just so a guy could imagine what his junk would look like after I stamped on it in steel-toed work boots.
That dude more hung than an
What?
Italian sausage?
Bad as things would get.
An Italian sausage?
I was wrong.
I was serious.
Bro, I'm
I
like
didn't
a
say
Vienna.
just kidding.
Goddamn, an Italian?
Follower from another user 827484 style.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm a Vienna sausage on a good day, bro.
The weirdest DMs or requests from
You know, I'm just kidding, but.
me, but also mentioned that some of that money was for procuring
What does
materials.
that mean?
Long story short, this person wanted me to head down to an apartment building where a Hispanic lady was selling puppies. I was to go down there, pick one up, then bring it back to my apartment.
Bro, now, I know that Ford has never had a dog in his entire life. You don't grab the dog ass facing you. Come on, who grabs a dog like that?
I asked why, but they wouldn't tell me.
Grab a ripper like that, like he's a handbag?
Being a huge source of potential income in the future. But this was a puppy. Nothing good could have come out of mixing OnlyFans and baby animals.
Yeah.
What do you know? I was right. I won't go into too much detail about what this user wanted me to do. Heinous stuff I'd ever heard.
It's gotta be Steve from Lose Lose.
Just killed.
Just a straight up puppy killer.
Over the course of months, maybe even weeks from some of the stuff that they were DMing. When I outright denied their request, the threats began.
Serial killer vibes.
Whenever I blocked an account, another one would pop up and give a sympathy, knowing it would be returned when I inevitably blocked them.
Well, that shit just pisses me off.
I started getting scared that this person, who I could never tell, would get a hold of my contact details. I had to be brave enough to just click that little delete profile
Got to, like I said, money isn't everything.
and face the music. So, I'm currently living with my mom and her boyfriend out here in New Jersey. I can't actually describe how much it sucks to be living in a garage. 30th birthday fast approaching, but I also know my life could be so much worse. Every time I miss Williamsburg, every time I miss having my bank account being added for next to no work at all, I just look over at Ripper, give them a pat.
It's up for you. All my homies love
Ripper
Ripper.
sucked. It's ruined a lot of lives, including mine. But at least, I have my pupper.
It
Man, I
got
can't
to.
hang with your
At the
ass
end of
for
the
a
day,
while, bro.
you can be broke as shit, but as long as you got the pupper,
Psychopath.
taking
You
dubs.
finally fucking
The only
lost.
dub you need. Last video of today's episode
That's
comes
that
from
Apache
IMR
blood
Scary
in me,
Tales.
homie.
It is a
Left hand
honeymoon
on
horror
Brian
story. I've
Tomahawk,
never
scalpel
reacted to a
motherfucker,
honeymoon
man.
horror story before.
Can't repo
So
the
let's see
assets
what
of a
happens.
dead man, big sitting cheap asshole.
My wife and I
We
went
ain't
to
going to
Japan
neither,
for our
nigga. I'm
honeymoon.
gonna keep this
Hey,
motherfucker
I
for
studied there
myself.
for a while
Tell
during
Simeon
college,
we couldn't
so I knew
recover.
the language pretty well, and we were financially stable enough to afford it. We had planned on exploring all of Tokyo. Being one of the largest and densely populated cities of the planet, it was almost like a world of its own.
I need to go
A
back to
country
Tokyo.
within a country with diverse
I gotta
histories
go back.
that might as well have been their own towns. For the first 4 days, we visited almost every part of the city, from the anime and manga shops of Akihabara to the trendy department stores of Shibuya, to some downright bizarre-themed cafes in Harajuku.
That's so cool.
But after spending so much time in the crowded city, we decided that we needed a little change of scenery. There were a bunch of parts of Tokyo, but they were all run by people who had the same.
Flying through the window.
To fill the box. I want an applicant to blow the box up. Look, I am just trying to figure out who you are,
What
We
the?
wanted to take a proper hike in the forest to clear our minds after all the excitement in the city. And the closest national forest was Aokigahara, a place most famous for people going there to commit suicide.
Oh shit, they went to
Needless
that
to say,
forest?
we decided to go somewhere else. But with
You
the
gotta
way
say what kind of
things
shit
turned out,
you want? Going to
it
that
would have been
forest?
safer if we
On a
had
honeymoon?
went to the suicide forest instead. On the 5th day of our honeymoon, we took a train ride to Kyoto, a city famous for its adherence to ancient Japanese culture, in contrast to the modern metropolis that was Tokyo. We found a mountainous forest from the hiking trail of the rural area and set out to appreciate the natural beauty rough path took us up the mountains. Flanking us on either side were towering green bamboo trees that made the vibrant purple and pink of the occasional wildflower, or sakura blossom, all the
This
more
your boy
striking.
LD, long
We
dick,
walked
holla
past
at
until late in the afternoon, at which point we decided it was time to call it a day. But on the way back, something among the bamboo caught our attention. A fox was watching us from the bamboo forest with keen eyes that almost looked like they were glowing in the shade. Oh wow, this wasn't the typical red fox you could find all over Japan. Its fur was smooth in a shade of shiny silver I'd never seen on any animal before. Naturally,
What the?
longed to take a picture of the
What the?
The moment we did, it darted back into the
Hey, you ain't Will, homie. Let's get you up out of here.
that idea, but the color of the fox was so beautiful that we couldn't help but try to follow it for a picture to show off to our
Yeah.
friends back home. The fox was fast, but not so much that we ever lost sight of it. We were able to move the back of its unusually big bushy tail.
Leave him alone.
It scurried in front of us.
That's his
gracefully
home.
darting in between the bamboo trees.
You're invading his home.
We tried to keep up.
That's like somebody opening the door to their house and just putting a camera in their face and following them throughout the whole house. Like, get the fuck out of my face!
Where a traditional Japanese cottage sat next to a
Who
water.
are these people? That's his home.
We didn't even question why it was there or we were just pleased that we found some semblance of civilization after almost becoming a statistic.
That wife looks like a
I knocked on
ghost.
the wooden pillar next to the rice paper door and shouted out a greeting in Japanese. Almost immediately,
Konbanwa.
the door slid open, and I was met with the second most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, you just got married. Already talking about the second most beautiful woman?
Next only to my own wife.
Oh, God. This dude cornier than after school special.
She was a fair-skinned Asian woman, coffee brown, almond-shaped eyes, and a flawless, delicate face. Achieved through Photoshop. She wore a fine silver kimono, fitting for her equally traditional husband, and greeted us with a small bow. Good evening, she said in Japanese. How may I help you?
Hey, look, they fixed
Her
my
Japanese was
taxi.
fluent, but I could tell that there was a bit of an accent to it. It wasn't any regional accent either. If I had to guess, she kind of sounded like a Korean person trying to speak Japanese. We got lost in the forest. I replied in my own heavy accent in Japanese. Can you please help us? She gave me a smile that made my heart flutter against my will.
This dude just got married, and he got butterflies from another woman. She ain't it, bro.
However, it is getting dark and the forest is dangerous at night. Would you care to stay the night here until tomorrow instead?
Anthony Pants. Anthony Pants.
I translated
What the fuck is Anthony Pants?
and we agreed to
The
stay.
wife's already
She
mad.
introduced
She got
herself
attitude.
as Hana and even offered to serve us food.
Where's
I
that?
tried to decline, but
Eggs with
she
rice?
insisted, and both my wife and I were hungry from our hike anyways. The food was some sort of meat with rice, accompanied by clay cups of green tea. Though we tried to mind our manners, we ended up scarfing the whole thing down in minutes. It was one of the most delicious meals I'd ever had in my life. She then led us to a small guest room and laid out 2 small futons for us to sleep on.
That means let's
My
eat.
wife fell asleep almost right away,
Itadakimasu?
but I couldn't for some reason. It was
Itadakimasu.
odd, since she was usually the light sleeper, and I've literally slept in storms. I felt
Oh,
urged to get out for some fresh air, so I did. I quietly exited the guest room.
On the rail equals on the trails.
More than
Still
same
eating?
food she'd served us from before
Damn,
was
girl,
still on the
go to
low
sleep.
dining table, and she was in the middle of eating. I hastily apologized for the intrusion in stuttering Japanese. She told me that it was
On
all
the
right to
rails,
say
beaches
something
on the
that she
trails.
kept since we met. When she told me to sit down so that she could pour me some tea, I saw no reason to decline. I won't go into detail about what we talked about. Long story short, she tried to seduce me as my newlywed wife was sleeping right in the other room. My hormones screamed at me to take her up on her offer, and I felt my body burning with an almost supernatural compulsion to take her then and there.
Did this man take his ring off
All
as they
drowned out
slept?
by sheer disgust at the thought of cheating on my wife. I declined her offer to sleep with me in no uncertain terms. She did seem angry about it. Instead, a look of surprise spread across her face. Do you really love her that much? She asked me. Of course I do, I replied. I wouldn't have married her otherwise. There was a tense moment of silence between us. In that time, her surprised expression turned to a look of sorrow. I almost felt bad about making her like that, but nothing was going to make me betray the trust of the woman I love. I really do like you, Hannah said before standing up,
You knew each other for 3 minutes. I've took longer shits than you've known this guy.
which is why I have to ask you to leave.
Tried to knife attack me?
What? I
No
asked
one creeps
surprised.
on the J-Dog,
Right
my
now?
niggas.
Yes, she said firmly. Just follow the river downwards, and you'll find a small town there. Don't worry, no harm will come to you, and the moon is bright enough to light your path. Go now. Take your wife
Oh my
and get
god.
out of here.
What
Seriously?
the hell?
My brother
Dead
is
question
such a
was the
homo.
way she said it.
I think he has a
There was a
medical
strong tone of
problem.
authority in
Like
her
more
words
medical
that made me
problems than
not
the
want
ones
to
he's
defy
already
We're
her.
not gonna talk about that eye color
I
switch?
sworn that her eyes glowed blue in the dim light as she
Oh, okay, I was
spoke
gonna
too.
say.
I went back to the guest room and woke up my sleeping wife. I
Fuck
told her
you,
that Hannah just
Amanda.
asked us to leave, and we had to go.
Cheating bitch.
She gave me an earful for getting us kicked out, but stopped when we returned to the living room.
Rubber brains were just splattered everywhere.
My
Tried to
God!
knife attack me.
Holy
Cut your dick off if you call the
shit!
administrator. Hey, you know
Bro,
what?
I got
I am
the
the
dude.
administrator.
Bro, I got the two of their kills!
We arrived in. We were instead greeted with a derelict ruin covered in dust.
Ooh!
Tried to knife
Lying
attack
on the
me.
corner of the lifeless living room was the
care
corpse
if
of a
you're
man
12.
with
I'll
strips
still
of his
rape
flesh
you.
torn out of him. The cracked bones,
Holy fuck.
his cheeks had been completely removed.
Cheeks? Which one?
When
What
we looked
cheeks?
at the low dining table we'd been eating from just hours ago,
But
we realized where all
Tried to
that
knife.
rotten teeth went.
Hey,
In the bowls that Hannah had served us were white teeth and bone shards. Topped by
What?
strips of flesh that still had human-like skin on
watching
the inside.
toesies.
And in those crazy cups was a foul black red liquid that gave off a pungent metallic odor that could only come from days-old blood. We left the cottage, which had become
Gotta kill every
in
single.
Hannah's absence. With no idea of where to go, I led us down the river as per Hannah's instructions. And true to
You're
her
a
word,
wasted
we
semen,
arrived in a small
bitch.
town where we met some
Oh my
very
god.
surprised people.
Seriously?
How did
My
they both
brother
see
is
the
Told
same
us
such a
thing?
that the
homo.
abandoned cottage up the river was cursed, and that no one who'd gone there had ever come out before.
Thank you.
They told us how lucky we were to still be alive and contacted the authorities to get us back to our hotel in Tokyo.
Wow.
We cut our honeymoon
You're a
short
real
after
pro,
that night.
Mrs. DeSanto.
My wife is still
Real
recovering from the
pro.
trauma.
Cheating whore.
Hannah would probably approve too. Had I not been faithful to my wife, I doubt she would have let me leave her cottage alive.
holy fucking shit, bro.
That was great. So they both saw the same thing because they saw the
Oh, you fucking.
eyes, which led them to a house that was
Tried to
cursed.
knife attack me.
So they both hallucinated and
No
saw
one
the
creeps
same
on the
exact
tree,
thing?
dog.
That's crazy. I thought they were gonna see her holding a knife or some shit and was ready to attack them. But they saw like a
still
broken
love
down
him,
house and
though.
they were literally eating some dude's butt cheeks.
Well, the
Well,
other
I think
day,
I know what we're all
walked in
thinking
on
with that
him,
one.
and
Yeah?
he was
We're gonna say it together?
over
On three?
pictures of my
Promise?
friends.
You gotta say it with me, alright?
No, not
Because that shit was
you.
kinda crazy. 1, 2,
The
3,
hot
1,
one.
2,
And Lisa.
Alright, everybody, but that's gonna do it
I
for this
will
episode of
fuck-
Relatively Scary
I will
Animation.
fucking
Hopefully you all
shoot
enjoyed this
you.
episode. If you
And
did, make sure you give it
interesting,
one
it's just that,
big
you know,
fat like. And
they
tell a
just
friend
don't
today
get
that Jay from the
Hello?
Cubs Scouts
Hello?
is that dude.
Thank you, coach.
I see Michael's bitch asses. I see you, Michael. And the band on the way.
Hey, Simeon, I got the ride, man. I'm coming back.
If you actually bring the repossession to me this time,
Here,
I can have it back out on
another episode of Me Reacting to These Scary
If you
Animations.
actually bring the repossession to me this time,
Down with that. Everybody get ready.
if you actually bring the repossession to me this time,
This one is called POV the Mario movie.
if you actually bring the repossession to me this time, I can have it back out on the street. If you actually bring the repossession to me this time, I can have it back out on the street before the day is done. If you actually bring...
This is a nostalgia. I never seen the movie.
If you actually bring the... If you actually...
Mario movie is.
If you actually bring the repossession to me this time, I can...
Look at his hair.
Thank you.
If you actually bring...
Listen to me. Woohoo.
Me, Canyon, why you gotta make all Mario levels?
if you actually
Actually, I might need it. Now that I look at Mario's face a little harder, you know what Meat Canyon's animation reminds me of? It reminds me of the old SpongeBob episodes when the characters would talk and then they would zoom into their face.
if you actually bring the repossession to
and
me
their
this
faces
time...
would look a lot different than they were with their
If you actually bring the repossession to me this time, I can have it back out on the...
Once you zoom into their faces, it's just like
if
a
you actually
completely different
bring...
face. Meat Canyon has those faces 24/7, and I think that's why I love it. Like,
if you
it
actually
unlocks, like,
bring
that
the repossession to me this time,
nostalgia
I
that
can
had
have it back out on
with
the street
SpongeBob
before the
and,
day
like,
is
Ren and
done.
Stimpy. Hero wants love to...
Hey,
What?
man.
I'm trying to watch this
Jessup.
animation.
Watch the
Okay.
movie. Right, just
Stop the
focus
car.
on... Thank you.
That the place?
Yeah.
This the
Right,
place,
the
man.
childhood.
Whoa.
Yeah, okay, yes, it's
Right
a me. Woohoo.
Right through the fucking window.
Just watch
And
the
fast.
movie. Right, just
I'll
focus
put
on...
2 rounds to the back
Remember
of your
that?
skull.
You remember seeing that in the
Sup?
games? Yeah, I just think the pacing feels a bit off for
I
me.
look like a fucking joke to
What
you.
did you just say? I said the pacing
my
feels a
life.
bit off. I just, yeah. Feels a bit rushed is all. You know, yeah, I don't know.
I still got this thunder in there.
I haven't been happy since I was 7 years old.
I mean, it's a Mario movie. You're in a children's movie, you ape. I mean, do you just go into children's movies and bitch and complain the whole time? What are you gonna do? Break down Paw Patrol next? Everyone in here is in their 30s.
I'm actually
Sammy, it's not exactly how it looks. I always trump big for a job well done. Now get out of here, kid.
I mean, it adds up. Mario came out in the 80s, so somebody in their 40s would absolutely love the shit out of seeing this movie. I heard the movie was good. I've never seen it personally.
Piece of shit.
I barely know it.
Years in their 30s. I mean, look around. It's true. Not everybody's in it. Not everybody's
Fucking
30.
asshole.
Listen, retard. That's in poor taste. Mario just used my Someone just cut me back. In my childhood. Just listen. You're gonna gobble this movie up.
Recognize this car? Huh?
You're
Look
gonna
like
say
it's
that it
worth
was
5
everything
grand
you
a month
wanted out
to
of
you?
Mario
Fucking
film,
right.
okay? Because it is. I'm a low-stakes movie
I'll
meant
tell
to
you
get you to
something.
buy
This
more
thing's gonna need
product.
some serious body work
That's
where
what
it's
you're
worth
gonna do.
5 grand a month.
I know, I certainly did. Yeah, fuck that guy, bro.
Zero life left.
Do a little beat writer.
I just wanted a nice
We have
night
some
out with
fun,
my son.
break into
All
my
right, I'm
fucking
just
house.
Be a little Italian beat writer.
I'm sorry.
Get in there for your fucking minute. But you are a fraudulent scumbag.
Okay, Luigi. My first up is a Donkey Kong.
Now be sure to get a new diaper on, because we'll have to take a big step here.
Hey, what's he typing?
I got it.
Yeah. Mario movie certainly is no Puss in Boots. That's for sure. Like I said, Meat Canyon Animation's top tier. And I feel like I'm spot on about what I just said about like when SpongeBob and Ren and Stimpy would submit to the characters and you would see how like detailed and grotesque they are. Meat Canyon does that the entire time and it makes you feel uncomfortable but fascinated at the same time. It's like a weird feeling, but Meat Canyon captures that same effect that those shows have. Next video of today's episode is a Tinder horror story. This comes from MJV Animations. I've personally never used a dating app in my life, mostly because I have anxiety and I don't want to deal with any of that type of stuff. But let me see how this one went down.
My girlfriend left me 2 weeks before this.
Don't care, didn't
I know
ask.
2 weeks is not long enough to fully process a breakup and start using Tinder, but I was desperate.
You're desperate after 2 weeks? Like, calm down, dog.
Within a few days,
And I don't mean
girls
dog as in
talking
friend, I mean like
regularly.
dog.
I asked
That
them
kind of
out
dog,
on a
like-
date for separate days, so
Let me
one of them
stop.
would be a good match for me. Unfortunately, the first one ghosted me though, so I was left with just the one, making me even more desperate.
Hold on. I need to see the game. So, he sent a message for Chloe, and it said, are you free today? And then Chloe said, question mark. Do you want to meet? Where do you want to meet? So what's your answer? This dude is so freaking thirsty! My goodness!
Even more desperate. In her picture, she seemed like my perfect type.
Get this man a glass of water, he's so thirsty.
Really attractive.
Sheesh!
Her personality, however, left much to be desired, at least over text. She was bland and bad at conversation, so
Michael!
If your personality was better in person, are you a better texter or are you better in real life? Like some people really get freaky through text, and then